Hey everybody, Floyd here for our last week together in American English Grammar. Uh, so I just wanted to go over what we're doing, what we've done, and where we're going, kind of in a really short video. Where we've been is we covered some tough stuff last week, and it was the culmination for us of practice, well, theory, really. We started with the theory, parts of speech, moving into units of meaning called sentences, and then parsing, breaking up those sentences and reassembling them to see what the parts are and how they work together and all that stuff. That's all the theory. And this week is the practice. And the practice is using those sentences to make a coherent document. The document's going to be our final paper. And the final paper is on a word of your choosing. So I really wanted to talk to you about this final project that we're doing. And this also is a kind of a culmination. It's going to show that you can write English with proper grammar, which you probably could do before. But maybe in writing this paper, you'll be more aware of clauses and things that we talked about in class. The idea of the paper is this. And so on Canvas, the idea is broken up into different parts, but I'll just tell you um, the idea of the paper and what I'm looking for. A lot of words in our language, English, come from Greek and Latin roots, and they're pretty easy to figure out where they came from. A word like telephone, let's say. The tele part means it's a Greek root meaning from a distance, and the phone part is to hear. So to hear from a distance, telephone. Easy. Television, to see from a distance. I can't think of any other examples right now, but a lot of our words are based on Greek and Latin roots, and it's really easy to figure out where those words came from. But what about a word like mud? Where did that come from? Or guts, or wood, or cloud, for example. Um, yeah, you want to find a word that's not obvious, hopefully. And so when I set out to build this project and design it for this class, I figured I should probably do the same thing to see what y'all are getting into. So I chose the word cloud primarily because I have a misspent youth of being in Maine and doing a whole lot of nothing really for days on end, but watching clouds roll by. And so over time, I developed a kind of a theory of cloud tectonics that came from really laziness more than anything. When I should have been stacking wood, I was doing a whole lot of nothing. Um, but looking at clouds. And the word clouds, the meaning of it really surprised me. It was totally unexpected. And so this word, this simple word, clouds, that we think of as these fluffy things in the sky started out as something totally different. And now for us means again something totally different. A cloud now is where we store our photos and music and all that stuff. So the word has definitely changed over time. And hopefully you'll find something interesting that has an interesting etymology and is interesting to you personally. And that will make this project much more interesting and fun, I think. So the three parts of the paper are this, as I envision it. There's the etymology part, and you're going to use the Oxford English Dictionary for the etymology. Etymology means the history of a word, and the etymology is thoroughly done in the Oxford English Dictionary. There are other dictionaries online. There's one called the Oxford Dictionary. Not the same thing. The Oxford English Dictionary, you have to have a subscription. And as Rowan students, you all have permission through the Campbell Library to go into the Oxford English Dictionary. Once you go in and look at the definition of your word, you're going to find tabs along a bar, and each of those tabs is going to give you exhaustive information about your word. Not only its etymology, but examples of usages through history, how the word's changed, uh, pages and pages and pages of information on your word, probably whatever your word is. So there's really no substitute for the Oxford English Dictionary. And that will be the research part of this paper. It's not really a whole lot of research. It's looking up one word, but it's what you'll be doing for other papers at Rowan, you'll be doing some research, citing from that source, and then listing the source in your paper, in the body of the paper, and then on a works cited page. So it's a little bit of practice for that. But really, it's a paper about this word that has cultural and historical significance and also has significance to you personally. And so all that will be woven into this paper. There's a rubric listed on Canvas for how I'll be assessing it. There's the example of the word cloud that I did. There's a description of the paper and what I'm looking for. If all of that doesn't get it for you, if you still have questions, email me. Or if you don't really know what word to do for your paper, email me and we can, hash it out and figure that out. Anyway, the idea is that it's going to be uh, putting theory into practice and also hopefully having some fun. And hopefully, this word that has meaning to you, now you'll know what the meaning of it is, and you'll be able to go forth into life having that knowledge with you. And maybe that's something you can share at the landmark and maybe get a free beer for those of you over 21 or not. Anyway, what else? Yeah, the paper. Uh, so as those come in, I'll be assessing those. And since this is our final week, I'll have a little bit of time to evaluate your work on those papers, and then final grades will be in before the next semester begins. So, yeah, I think I'll have plenty of time to get all that in for you. For some students, final grades for a semester is important to get in as early as possible. So I'll do that for y'all as soon as I can. And then our next semester begins. But before that happens, we still have a few weeks of August. So I want to encourage you all to enjoy those last dregs of August 2024. Um, by the way, this semester I really enjoyed your DQs. This semester, your answers about some of the questions. You really thought about it, and you came up with some good explanations for things like noun clauses and the connector thing that joins the two clauses in a compound sentence. All those things are really interesting. So I appreciate your hard work this semester, and I'm glad that you took the class. And I hope that it made a significant impact on you, enough so that you can actually share with other people what you learned. Because I find when I talk to students that they come to Rowan without having much knowledge of grammar. In growing up in the school system, learned a lot about grammar. It was important to our teachers that the students know something about grammar. I remember diagramming sentences in the eighth grade and really digging into what relative clauses do and how they work and things like that. And I think a lot of students do not get that. Maybe that's your situation. Maybe in going through your own school system, you did not get a good deal of grammar education yourself. So I hope this course was useful to you, and I hope you're able to share this with your students or whoever you come across who needs some um, grammar education. By the way, um, don't get too carried away. Nobody likes a grammar Nazi. Really, in life, you can have good grammar or you can have friends. And so if you have good grammar, that's fine. Just maybe keep it to yourself. If you need to make corrections from somebody's language, just do it mentally. Don't let them know that ain't is not a proper form of English or whatever. Okay, fun semester. Enjoyed your work. I hope you get something out of it. If you need anything in the coming semesters, just shoot me an email. Hey, Floyd, I took your grammar class. I need something. I'll get back to you on that. Otherwise, a couple of days of August left. Please enjoy it. And okay, take care.